to another exciting episode of Extraordinary Ordinary Women. And I'm Margarita, and I'm excited to be able to share with you stories of ordinary women, women in our community, perhaps even your next door neighbour, women who have had a dream or an idea and followed it through to fruition. Now, their stories will encourage you, uplift you, and hopefully inspire the seeds of greatness within your heart. And today I'm delighted to introduce you to Glenis Ingram, whose later chapters of life remind us that strength, resilience, and purpose often grow from life's greatest challenges. After pivoting later in life and retraining as a yoga teacher, Glenis has dedicated her life to helping others discover greater calm, confidence, and connection through movement, breath, and mindfulness. As an experienced Hatha yoga teacher, yoga nidra practitioner, and trauma-aware yoga facilitator, she has worked with people from all walks of life, supporting not only physical well-being, but also emotional healing and resilience. Now, what particularly drew me to Glenis's story is that her work is far more than teaching yoga. Her classes create a welcoming, non-judgmental space where people can slow down, reconnect with themselves, and simply take time to breathe. Now, whether she's teaching free classes in beautiful parks, working with older adults, or supporting those living with anxiety and depression, her focus has always been on making well-being accessible to everyone. And like many of the women featured here on Extraordinary Ordinary Women, Glenis's path hasn't always been an easy one. Earlier in her life, she faced significant personal challenges and had to rebuild from a difficult chapter. And those experiences seem to have shaped the compassion and understanding she now brings to every class she teaches. And rather than allowing hardship to define her, she's transformed it into a life of service, helping others to find peace, strength, and hope in their own journeys. And I have no doubt that many of you will relate to Glenis's belief that healing isn't about becoming somebody new. It's about reconnecting with one's true self, with the seeds of our true inner being that were hidden inside us. And so today we'll be walking we'll be walking and talking with Glenis about her journey, the lessons she's learned along the way, the power of community, and why something as simple as taking a deep breath can sometimes become the first step towards changing a life. So Glenis, welcome. Welcome to Extraordinary Ordinary Women. It's a real pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Margarita, for having me on your show today.
Well, I'm looking forward to our interview. So before we dive into your story, Glenis, it's always interesting to know where people are located. Whereabouts are you joining us from today?
From Brisbane.
Oh, wow.
Inner city Brisbane, so you might hear the sounds of inner city in the background.
Right. All part of the show. So Glenis, first question, what prompted you to start teaching yoga? Like what was happening in your life to cause you to pivot?
It was a major chapter in my life, as you say. I first began practicing yoga and learning about yoga and experiencing yoga in the year 2000. And what prompted that was a tree change from Sydney to a cute little hinterland town on the Sunshine Coast. So a very big change,
Yes.
and a sabbatical time where I was able to explore yoga. And so for a long time, perhaps 10 or more years, yoga was a personal practice, one that I enjoyed and continue to. And subsequently moving from that gorgeous little hinterland town on the Sunshine Coast into Brisbane, I was on the banks of Brisbane River at South Bank.
Wow.
I was attending an outdoor class. The sun was going down, sun was setting, the moon was rising,
Oh, wow.
the stars were coming out, the grass area and the trees completely filled with this huge group of people of all different ages attending this outdoor free yoga class,
Right.
conducted by this beautiful, and I'm sorry her name escapes me at the moment, a beautiful mature lady on stage directing, leading, holding the space for this class in this particular environment. And a voice said inside my head, you could do this.
Well, yes.
And so that was my direction. So then I sought to undertake yoga teacher training with My Health Yoga. I made the decision to go with My Health Yoga in Carrie-Ann Fields, and did yoga teacher training, did their healers course. Before I'd finished my yoga teacher training, 350 hours, Carrie said to me, you need to teach. So I started in a community centre, and very nervously
Yes.
began teaching, standing in front of the group, speaking nervously, and leading the class, community classes where people paid with gold coin donations to attend the class. And that's where it started.
Well, that's really amazing. And as you were talking about that first experience on South Bank, I have lovely, fond memories of South Bank. It's just a beautiful place, and picturing yoga in that setting sun, rising moon is just a beautiful experience. And I can also relate to your nervousness because I can remember way back, first public speaking, my voice would rise to a high little pitch. Bring it down, calm down. So
imagine trying to find the words right and left and
yes,
foot or hand and getting it all muddled up.
and I was attending actually a horse clinic, and beautiful male instructor actually was somebody else was out there. And when all eyes are focused on you, your brain sort of sometimes just shuts down, as you probably found out leading your yoga classes. And he said, now step forward with your left foot. And she did it with the right foot. And he said, no, the other left foot. And I thought, wow, that was a really lovely, soft, gentle way of correcting the woman without humiliating her. Because, yes, when you're initially out in that limelight, it's scary stuff, isn't it? So well done. So you mentioned various types of yoga. Would you like to explain those, please? The NIDA, the trauma awareness, and Yatha one.
Hatha yoga is an umbrella for a lot of yoga. And I did undertake 2 extensive training courses in Yoga Nidra, which is yogic sleep. So you're not actually standing on your mat, moving your arms and legs in body in different positions. You're laying on a mat, fully supported with blankets and bolsters and eye pillows.
Well, yes.
And guided through a body scan to take you into that state between sleep and wakefulness. So you're aware of what's going on around you, but you're just going a little bit deeper into that relaxation state. So it's a beautiful, one beautiful way of entering that healing state, getting a deeper, restful positioning for your body and your mind, and it really slows things down. So I like to incorporate short sessions at the end of my yoga classes, which will bring some of those elements into the class, but I have taught classes where that's what we do for the whole session. So it's really lovely to see how people can take a breath. We're all so busy with so many thoughts. We're running here, we're running there, all our responsibilities. And to see people actually, take more than just a breath, that makes a difference. But to go a little bit deeper, a little bit more relaxed. It's just a lovely thing to see people experience, and a lovely thing to create the environment and the permission for people to step into that sense of being held and relaxed. There's no touch, but I'm holding the space so that people can perhaps let go a little more.
Because I have done some research, and there is more to yoga than just the poses. And I'm wondering if that particular yoga is very helpful to people who have come or are going through a traumatic time, a life-changing situation, to be able to do that prior to going to sleep. So, for example, doing it on the bed, tucked up, wrapped up in the blanket, so to speak, because often going through those situations, our mind is just going round and round and round and just won't stop.
Yes, yeah. When we're stressed or worried, or have experienced some trauma, yeah, as you say, the mind can continue on. So depending on where someone's feeling, whether they're feeling agitated, then the energy might need to be moved. So a physical practice and moving the body might be the right thing for them at that time. For someone who's feeling depleted or exhausted or slightly depressed, perhaps, perhaps starting at that level where minimal movement and just accessing the breath, and then perhaps introducing more movement as feels appropriate. So it's a nuanced approach, one that I bring to myself in my own personal practice. Some mornings on my mat it might be quite vigorous. Other times it might be just laying over the yoga bolster and breathing and counting the breaths. So that's what my intention is, to invite people to explore when they attend my classes, to explore, first of all, okay, so what's helpful, where am I at, and then what's helpful for me now? And that might mean any combination of what I'm offering in the classes.
So that actually leads into one of the questions I was thinking about here. Do you have a conversation with people prior to them coming to a class to determine what they require? How is that determined?
Certainly if it's a one-on-one class, a private class, yes, there's that conversation. Yes. When there's 20, 30 or even 40 in the class, that might be not as accessible. I do make myself available to chat with people. Some people arrive happy to chat. Some people arrive happy to sit quietly on their mat. And all of that is honoured.
Yes.
I have a sense of what I'm picking up energetically. Yes. If my body's feeling agitated or energized, and then I come to a group, I might sense something similar in the energy of the group. So sometimes I can be picking up on the energy, an observation of what's presenting. The group might be sitting quietly, or they might be sitting chatting, and it's different. And I guess there's lots of things that can influence that. But
right.
Yeah, I try to be sensitive to those cues that I'm picking up from people, whether it's one-on-one or whether it's collective as a group.
And you mentioned the word energy there. And for those of us who have gone down that path, we are all energy, and it's just incredible that the more you know about energy and understand it, the more you're able to relate to it. And like working with animals, there is certainly that energy, and that was my beginning entrance into the energy story. So can I ask you, Glenis, there was a challenge in your life that pivoted you into this course. Are you able to share a little bit about the challenge? Or please say no, and we can just move forward, because that, that's personal.
Well, I was over 50, and for the first time in my life, I found myself living alone.
Right.
After having raised children, two beautiful children, into adulthood, and a happy and successful marriage, where I was able to travel the world, and then through circumstances beyond much of our control, I found myself living alone. And for the first time in my life, over 50, trying to figure all that stuff out. Obviously, to do it when you're a parent and a partner and you have that degree of support. It's a different degree of support when you're doing it solo.
Oh, absolutely understand, because my world changed in my 60s. So that was pretty tough too. So totally understand, the challenges that you would have gone through. So every new beginning has its fair share of challenges, no matter whether it's a new hobby, a new career, whatever we're starting, whatever it's new, there are, learning wrinkles to iron out. What were some of the challenges that you'd like to share with us that you faced? And how did you face them? What gave you the support to get through them?
In terms of yoga,
Yes.
teaching yoga and the business?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Well, as I said, I started doing the classes for gold coins, literally a few gold coins in my hand. And
which is
joy,
beautiful.
It was beautiful, is beautiful. The joy of sharing yoga. And actually, those gold coins were a bonus from what I felt that I received in sharing the practice with other people. But then over a period of time, I had to learn to figure out how to make an income out of it. Yeah. And so there was while I'd worked in my husband's business previously, it's a different story starting your own.
Oh, and absolutely.
And learning all the things. So I guess there were challenges there. I was very well supported in that where I came to live, I was offered some introductory business training, and I undertook those. And then when one of those courses finished, they said the next step is, if you're open or willing or would like to consider, is an introduction to Global Sisters and the Big Idea.
Wow.
So I went along, very nervous, not knowing what was next. And
so to a physical meeting, sorry to interrupt there, to a physical meeting of Global Sisters and the Big Idea.
It must have been about 2017, around about 2017, 2018. Yes, it was a physical meeting. Right. Met some amazing women in this hall that they'd provided the space for the time of the Big Idea workshop. It was catered for, and then we had to do a little pitch at the end of that, which was very nerve-wracking. But that was just the start. So for someone who had to learn what it was like to stand in front of a room and speak, it still can be a little nerve-wracking. And then in 2018, there was the pitch with Global Sisters and the other beautiful sisters in Circular Quay in AMP. And that was a tremendous experience. So the support of the mentorship, the training, the guiding on step by step what was next in running this business, literally having someone sit beside me, the beautiful Asia, and showing me how to set up a business Facebook account, an Instagram account, and how to, feel comfortable with posting what was appropriate to share what I was sharing.
So because starting a business starting life as a single after so long a period of time is a challenge, but starting your own business is daunting and overwhelming. And to have the support of Global Sisters, we both know, is a phenomenal organisation. And I'll pop details of that into the description box below. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, pivotal in my direction, because I don't know whether I would still be operating this as a business had I not received some of the training and the phenomenal support and the confidence that slowly starts to build. It makes a big difference.
So I know working with people, there are rewards. What have been some of the rewards of what you've been doing?
To see people enter my yoga room or yoga space, rushing, running, drop the kids off at school, or running from caring for family, and then to begin to tune into their breath, their shoulders soften, they allow themselves to move a little slower, to breathe a little deeper, and then to come into a sense of relaxation at the end of the class when everyone rolls out, lays on their mat. Now it's winter in Brisbane, so I encourage them to bring their socks and their scarves and a little blanket or towel if they wish. And they've got the earth beneath them or the floor beneath them. They've moved their body, they've breathed. We're at the end of the class. And you can see the belly rising, falling, rising, falling. They've reached that deeper sense of relaxation. They've found a little more connection with their breath and their body. That is a huge reward. And then when we complete the class and they start to roll up their mats, and you can see not only have they made that connection with themselves, but they're chatting with the person on the yoga mat next to them. They're chatting with someone over here, and there's more connection, more community, that sense of community. It's really lovely to see.
I'm with you on that. That's beautiful, isn't it? When you can see what you've done has significant impact on other people, and to see them come in one state and leave in a far more relaxed, together state is pretty darn awesome. Well done.
It means that yoga's working. It's not me. It's coming through. It's coming through them. I'm not doing it to them. They're invited all the way through every class to just do exactly what feels right, which might look like something completely different from me. It might look like pausing, resting, doing something that feels good in their body. So I'm holding the space, inviting these movements to explore at whatever degree you choose, which is another important thing with trauma aware, that people have choice. And we create rhythm where we are invited to move in ways, even if it's a little movement like this, we're creating a rhythm, we're creating that connection with ourselves and the community. So thank you for your words, but I'd like to say yoga's working.
But you are the facilitator, and a lot comes down to the quality of the facilitator. and to allow people that freedom of choice within what you are offering, or not only the freedom of choice, but the safety of knowing that they have the freedom of choice. That's beautiful. And that's so, I could imagine, so reassuring and comforting to those who are there. And that influences the results that they are having with what you are offering. So you are an important factor there, the facilitator. So finally, Glenis, what words of wisdom would you like to leave with our audience today?
Thank you. I think that something that I need to remind myself of every day, I invite all of us to explore, just to give ourselves a moment wherever we are. You know, I'm sitting cross-legged here on my lounge. You might be sitting under that beautiful tree I see behind you, which is gorgeous. Or it might be sitting at your office desk, you know, if there's a window nearby, looking out at the sky, watching the clouds. Wherever you find yourself, take a moment. Soften your gaze. Feel the surface beneath you. And watch the breath as it rises and falls. Do that for one breath. Do that for 5 minutes. Do that for 10 minutes. As many times as you like throughout the day. I think the world will be a different place if we all had the opportunity to give ourselves at least one breath to connect.
And they are such beautiful words of wisdom, so very different to other words of wisdom I've had people share, because that, for me, was a really long journey to learn. And I find now that I do that, I'm not rushing about. I do find myself, stop, just enjoy this moment, take a breath, feel the nature. And I'm blessed to live with it where I live on a farm, rural. And I do find myself, and it calms everything, doesn't it? It is the best medicine out there, just to stop, breathe. And as you say, it just can be one breath or quite a few breaths. It's irrelevant. It's just the pausing and being in the moment, breathing. So Glenis, thank you for sharing your story with us today. Your journey is a beautiful reminder that our greatest challenges can sometimes become the foundation of our greatest purpose. And to those watching, thank you for joining us today. And I look forward to sharing the story of another extraordinary, ordinary woman with you all. And if you enjoy hearing the stories of ordinary women doing extraordinary things, I invite you to subscribe and join us for future conversations. With heart, thank you, Margarita.
Thank you, Margarita.